All through Joe Biden's life, when in the public eye, he has been doing things that any normal thinking human being would look at that and say, something, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. You know, your president is at it again. I've always wondered how many times something has to happen for people to be like, oh, stop it. If I was in a boxing match, okay, and I'm going to break this down for you. If I was in a boxing match and I had a coach in my corner and I'm fighting a dude that's notoriously got a sick jab, blap, 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 and he fires 5 jabs before he fires that hook. And we know this, and he doesn't change his pattern, right? We know this. And I'm in the ring, and my coach says, just keep your hand up, wait for the 5th jab, and pull back. He gonna fire that hook. Bob hit him. And I decide to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and go in for the 5th, and I get jabbed and go back. Now he hooked me. And the coach said, I said, wait for the 5th one. And I keep doing this. How many times before the coach says, you know what, I'm throwing in the rag and I'm done with you. I ain't even going to coach you no more because you don't listen. I am done. I would think, I'm a coach. I'll tell you twice. That's all I'm giving you. If you do that twice, I might even not throw in the rag. I'll just let you get knocked out and I won't even be ringside no more. You deal with that yourself. I say that to say this. All through Joe Biden's life, when in the public eye, he has been doing things that any normal thinking human being would look at that and say, something, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right. But for some reason, the mainstream media don't talk about, but hey, see, there I go again, thinking the mainstream media are logically thinking human beings, but they're not. Or maybe they are, they just don't want to implement it in this particular arena. Another video surfaced, and I don't think I can describe it to you. I think I want you to see it for yourself so you don't think we're lying, because, you know, we don't want to be called liars on the president of the United States. So you take a gander at it and you tell me what you think he's doing. Be sure also to make sure you keep an eye on where his right hand is real quick, okay? And then we'll come back and talk. Okay, you saw it? You did? Good. I'm glad we all saw. Now, were we imagining where that hand was? Now, say that we're in the same room and you have a child. Would you allow me to do what he did to your child? I would expect you to say no to that answer. I hope none of you say yes. So how many times does this need to take place before the mainstream media say, hey, Mr. President, why are you doing that? Or better yet, what makes you think that was appropriate? We have seen him touching inappropriately, kissing inappropriately, fondling inappropriately, being way too close, and in some cases speaking to them as though they were adults and saying that they're looking hot, they look sexy. Kids. And I'm not talking about 17, 18. We are talking about 7, 8, 12, 13. Now, everyone that I've seen defending him come forward saying, well, he's just a grandpa. He's talking to them like he would his granddaughter. If that's how he talks to his granddaughter, we have even more problems. But when you look at the subsequent diaries of his son, it makes sense. When you look at the diaries of his granddaughter, it makes even more sense. So how long does this have to go on? How many mishaps? How many accidental touches? How many grandfather moments do you need to see before you realize that there may be, just maybe, there might be something intentional about this? Not there's something wrong. I used to think the man was crazy, and Corey kept telling me, no, he ain't crazy, man. He ain't crazy. Nothing crazy about Joe. He's not suffering from dementia. And I kept thinking that he did suffer from dementia. I'm changing my tune. Corey has convinced me that man does not have dementia. This is intentional. It has to be. Okay, look, if it was something mentally off, if it really was, you would think that by now the Staffords would be like, we need to try and find ways to keep him away so that people don't start thinking something is wrong with him. They don't even try that. They don't even go to that level. The media doesn't even make an effort to hide this from you. Unless, of course, you put it and speak about it like we're talking about it now. Then it's a problem. If, however, you go about it saying, look at Joe Biden greeting all these children so warmly and welcoming and loving like a grandfather, they'll allow it. Why is that? Some months ago, we tackled the Sound of Freedom thing, and Corey had said something, and a lot of people didn't agree with him. But when the man's right, the man's right. He said that it's going to become increasingly more prevalent, this activity. Not just the trafficking, but the exploitation. You think he was wrong? Nope. If you look around the world, look around America right now, it has gone up exponentially. No one's even talking about Sound of Freedom anymore. Not a soul. It was all the hubbub just months ago. Everyone was talking about this is going to change. This is going to revolutionize our efforts to stop trafficking, right? Remember people saying that? Where's that energy now? What have you done? Any laws passed? No. And any more captured? No. Any more saved? No. In fact, you've been seeing more and more and more exploitation, even in the movies, on your screen, in the news, in schools. It's ramped up, just like he said it would, because it's been normalized now. And it's so normalized that even the President of the United States is allowed to be this way in the public eye, in front of cameras, for everyone to see. And not a soul is willing to say something about it when it matters. I mean, you might get podcasts like ourselves that might say something. I know the other guy, the Salty Cracker, he does a really good job of exposing that stuff. He will say something about it, but even he gets, that for saying it. Do you see MSNBC talking about it? Nope. CNN? Nope. NBC? Nope. Reuters? Nope. NPR? No. Not even Fox covers this. What would you call that? Complicit. They are complicit, hence they are okay with it. But are you? Are you okay with this? Are you okay with what you just saw? And all the hundreds of videos that have popped up of this man doing the exact same thing over his tenure in government. Are you okay with the fact that he even started out his current marriage like that? That's not a problem to you? Well, if it's not a problem to you, then we understand the problem with America, don't we? But for those of you who do have a problem, we need you to do your part in making sure this reaches everybody's eyes until they can no longer avoid the obvious. Because if the mainstream media ain't going to do it, then it's up to us. Because here's the thing, this may be not your children that's getting affected by this, but it will be a child being affected by this. Whether their parents are left-leaning or right-leaning, the child is still innocent. And we have to do our part in making the world understand and see what this thing is about. Because a man wouldn't do that. So my appeal to the mainstream media is to do your job. Report on what is there and stop trying to cover up the obvious. And to the rest of us who have and can see, speak, share it, show it, and don't be afraid either. Because at the end of the day, you might be the one to open somebody's eyes, and eventually, maybe, we can stop this monster.